Good evening and welcome to our Town Pasadena. I'm Marie Stein. It's Wednesday, May 12th, 2010. And tonight we have a couple of very, very special guests. We have a special panel of guests who are very focused on the art of the mystery. I'd like to extend a special welcome to Ashley Ream, Eric Stone, and Jeri Westerson, who are all part of the Sisters in Crime Los Angeles chapter organization. Starting with Ashley, I'd just like to talk a little bit about Sisters in Crime, what the organization is about, how you got started with it, and what it takes to be a member, all of that kind of stuff.
Well, Sisters in Crime is actually an international organization. We're all from the local Los Angeles chapter, which is the largest chapter in the U.S. We have about 200 members. Sisters in Crime in general was started a little over 20 years ago, and it was originally to really support women in the mystery field. This was about 1986. Women weren't really getting nominated for writing awards. The way they were treated, the characters in other mystery novels was not so great.
But there were some really great female mystery writers.
And they're
like
the ones who really
Christie
founded Sisters in Crime. Sarah Paretsky is really well known. She's really considered the mother of Sisters in Crime. And she really started the entire organization. She gave some speeches at the 1986 BoucherCon that got things rolling. And BoucherCon is a national mystery authors conference. It's our biggest one that we have every year. It's still going on. And it really decided that women needed support. And so this organization was founded in 1987. And obviously now we have male members. We call them Mr. Sisters. The mission of the organization is really expanded, and it's to support all mystery writers and to really raise the profile of the genre. We sometimes get pushed to the side a little bit. We're not as important as literary works. But, you know, they're great books, and they really need to get the respect they deserve. And so that's really what our organization is about.
Well, what is a mystery, really?
I think all books are mysteries. If you don't have a mystery, if you already know what's going to happen, why read the book? Why write the book? And so really anyone can join our organization and get something from it, particularly if you're a young author. The thing that separates Sisters in Crime from a lot of other author organizations is that there are no membership requirements. If you want to join, you can. So even if you've never written your book, even if you're just thinking about it, even if you're just a fan, anyone can join Sisters.
So you don't have to be a published
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's really where we're most helpful, I think, for a lot of authors, is that when you're just starting out, you don't know anybody, you don't know how to get an agent, you don't even know how long a book is supposed to be, how many words is in a novel. You can come to our meetings, you can meet other authors who are farther along in their careers, and you can get those questions answered in a really sort of warm, supportive way.
Now, I came to Sisters in Crime. I found out about Sisters in Crime in L.A. through a friend who had a friend who had been published in the anthology that y'all just published.
Yes.
Which was fantastic. I went to a reading at the South Pasadena Library and really, really enjoyed it. Can you talk a little bit about that anthology?
Absolutely. It's one of the best things that our particular chapter does. Every other year we compile an anthology, and it's really some of the best crime writing in Los Angeles. In order to submit, you must be a Sisters in Crime L.A. member, but when you submit your story for consideration, your name and all of your identifying information is removed from it. It's a blind submission process. So if you are a published author, you've got 5 books out, you've won awards, you have no leg up on the person who's never published before. We're only judging you on the basis of those stories. And so a lot of our members have gotten their first publication through those anthologies and gone on to get agents and to get big publishing contracts. So it's such a great thing. Eric was actually the editor of our most recent anthology.
One of the editors.
There
were 3 of us, all told.
To be a member of Sister in Crime, is there a fee? Like, how do you find out?
Absolutely.
Is there a website?
Absolutely. You can go to sistersInCrimeLA.com for our local chapter. It costs $30 for the year to join. It's $40 a year to join national, and that's really all you have to do.
And so the benefits are the monthly meetings?
Absolutely. We have a monthly meeting. We have a monthly newsletter. You can submit for the anthologies. We have a booth at the West Hollywood Book Fair, which is coming up in October. If you're a published author, you can come to our booth and sign. We do the same thing at the LA Times Festival of Books. We have parties. We have, our Speakers Bureau. Exactly.
Yeah.
Eric is the director of our Speakers Bureau, which arranges speaking engagements all over LA at bookstores, libraries, other venues. It's a great organization.
I was really excited about Sisters in Crime because I went and I entered the raffle and I won a book.
Excellent.
And I was like, this is fantastic. This is really fantastic. The other thing that I was really excited about is that there were these free, like really exciting giveaways. Like this, for instance, this wonderful handy dandy little kind of pen that has a sword in it, which is part of the swag that's associated with Jeri Westerson's new book. And her hero, who is named Crispin
Guest.
Crispin Guest. And these are medieval mysteries.
Right, and the sword is because he's an ex-knight turned detective on the mean streets of 14th century London. So a little something to remind you of what you're getting into.
And this is a copy of, I think if we're coming back to me, if we can, or maybe we'll just say,
Shall I hold it? Oh, you got it.
Wait, I'm back on camera. This is the second book,
second in the
series,
correct.
called Serpent and the Thorns, and the third book is going to be coming out in October, right?
Correct, yes, The Demon's Parchment.
Okay, so that's very, very exciting, and we're going to be talking more about that in just a few minutes. And Eric Stone is also with us, who did not have any of this like really, really groovy swag.
No swag. I'm so sorry.
But does have a very recent book, a Ray Sharp novel, I think the fourth in the series, called Shanghai, which is also really, really exciting.
Thank you.
And I read a good solid part of the first one, which is now available in paperback, called Living Room of the Dead, which is really, really fun because your hero is a journalist who goes between Macau and Vladivostok and Hong Kong. And has just these fantastic, really interesting adventures.
I was a journalist for many years, most of my life, and 11 of them I lived in Asia, worked for publications that were regional all over. And so I've been kind of rehashing some of the stories I covered as fiction in the Ray Sharp novels. And the first one, the one that you're reading, is set in Hong Kong, Macau, and Vladivostok, Russia, and deals with the trade in women from the former Soviet Union to Asia. And it's unfortunately a true story, quite a horrific one, and most of the places and things in it are fairly accurately portrayed. So it's depressing in places. It's probably my most horrific book, actually. The books the books, it's not like the books have become light and easy and comfortable after that, but that's probably the most difficult one for a lot of readers.
Well, that's often the truth for a lot of writers, right? The first one is the most painful in a lot of ways, and it forces you to kind of sit down and grapple with those demons. Then it gets a little easier, right? As you develop and build the character. Would you?
The books, well, I guess Eric's talking about it, more difficult for the reader. But the first, these are the first published books. They're not really the first books that I've written. I don't know how true that is for the others, but so this one was the first in the series with this character. So getting to know the characters and getting to know the people, the other characters that populate the book, and just getting a feel for what we want, we want to say in the books. Yeah, that can be a little daunting because you also want it to be a smash. You want people to love it and then continue with the series. So yeah, the first one's a lot.